Hi, this is Thierry Samlal from PMML. Today I want to present to you market statistics for the province of Quebec for multifamily buildings for the month of April 2024. So the market is nice and stable. Interest rates are high but stable, and market confidence has came back very importantly because right now we have 4 consecutive months of maintained and increased prices, price per door in the market, aggressive cap rates all throughout the province of Quebec, and a lot of dry powder available from investors which are willing to invest in multifamily, either because they refinanced their portfolio in 2023, or they're using the MLI Select program from the CHMC to be able to pull out equity from their assets and re-inject that equity and reuse MLI Select on the purchases that they're doing. So there's a double whammy right now in the market, which is really interesting. I got 10 different transactions I want to talk to you today about, so I'll go pretty promptly on them. We have a property here on Lincoln Street, which is downtown Montreal. It's been on the market for at least 3 years. The owner has maintained this price through time. There was multiple offers on it. It went through different hands. There was different visits, and the seller just kept on maintaining his pricing. And in a context where the interest rates are very high right now, but stable, there was a sale that took place for these 96 units very close to the McGill University, but in a building not so interesting if you're looking at it from the outside. Footprint on ground is not so dense, very thin building, but very long with a very long frontage. The units inside were not renovated, very small, but most of the units were occupied by tenants. During COVID, vacancy went sky high on it, but very quickly the owner was able to re-rent everything with things stabilized out on the market. Sold for $184,000 a door for smaller units, concrete asset with a lot of money to be put in the building. Cap rate of 3.6, expense to revenue ratio of about 45%. The transaction of almost $17.5 million. Very interesting transaction that shows comparables downtown for smaller units, which are quite equivalent to what we were seeing post-COVID in the western side of Montreal. So really interesting to see that the market is being maintained there and that the buyer's going to have to massively inject money into this asset to be able to bring it back to par, which corrects the sales price to a price over $184,000 per door. Let's go up to Ahuntsic, north central part of Montreal. 119 units sold for a cheap price. This one is really interesting because it's the only comparable that I could tell you which is below market. The price per door is $126,000 per door. Cap rate is 4.7, but the footprint per unit is immense. So if I took this building and I brought it into western part of downtown Montreal, Montreal West, and I sold it about 1.5 years ago to a REIT, I would have sold it for about $400,000 per door. This one went for $126,000 per door, concrete asset. I'm guessing it sold on the cap rate of 4.7, but the price per door is not representative of what it could have been on the market. The expense ratio was at 44.8. So with the MLI efficiency program here, you can really squeeze some juice out of this asset and be able to increase value over time. Concrete transaction went for $15 million. Let's go to the South Shore of Montreal. 4 properties, 4 times 16 plexes, 1979 construction. Went for $219,000 per door, which is a record sale for the South Shore of Montreal in that area. Close to the Charlemagne Hospital, close to a train station, close to 2 major highways, public transportation. You know, a place where you want to be if you're on the South Shore of Montreal. Still, $219,000 is exceptional. $14 million worth of transaction for a brick and wood 64 unit in total asset. Really interesting sale. Let's go into Quebec City, Lévis side, crossing the river on the south side of Quebec City is where Lévis is. Lévis is an under-densified area, but right now, which is exploding just like Gatineau is, as far as new constructions that are going to be built on the short term there. The purchaser that bought here is active on the market, has been active on the South Shore in Montreal, has been active in Quebec City. He did major sales in Quebec City of a portfolio in the last year, a major sale in the South Shore of Montreal of a portfolio in the last year, and is repurchasing in this portfolio of assets composed of 124 unit, 18, 17, and 148 unit, the total sale which is a little above $10 million. So once again, this asset sale falls in the capital market category. Let's stay in Quebec, go to Beauport. Beauport, which is more on the eastern side of Quebec. Normally sale values are a little short in Beauport. So this transaction is a nice transaction. It took place at a good price. 3 buildings, 1973 construction. One building is a 38, the other one is a 31, and the other one is a 30 units. Interesting because it's a critical mass of almost 100 units, 99 units to be exact. Sold for a little bit more than $100,000 per door, which is a very good price. And if you're looking at the sales, the smallest sale in price took place at $91,000 per door, and the strongest sale in price took place at $115,000 per door. That's a differential of about $24,000 per door, which is huge. So because you have a comparable in there, which is $91,000, but you have another comparable, which is at $115,000, which really maintains and increases the comparable base in that area. Really interesting sale for the owners in Beauport. If you're looking to sell in Beauport, think about it. Might be a good time. Let's go into Joliette. Joliette, which is a municipality of small size, located northeast of Montreal in the Lanaudière area. Quite a bit of a drive from Montreal if there's no traffic, say 45 minutes to an hour to go into Joliette, depending on traffic. Sold here 51 units, $186,000 per door for a 1970 asset. That's an exceptional price. Transaction took place close to $9.5 million. Don't underestimate secondary areas where you could pick up assets at a good price, and don't underestimate potential rents in those areas, because there's a large request for multifamily all across the province of Quebec, and Joliette being a city of a good size with industries and a good commercial portion of it is really active. You want to have apartment buildings in that area. And for example, this one here is capable of sustaining higher rents, which it has right now. So it's a really interesting sale. Going back into Quebec City, Limoilou area, 62 units, $148,000 per door. Let's compare this one to the one that took place in Beauport, which is not too far from downtown Quebec, about the same distance on the other side, where the average price per door was, say, $100,000. This one went for $148,000. So there's a potential of, if you're buying well in an interesting area or in an area being gentrified, it could be really interesting to buy in Quebec City. Let's come back to Montreal. Plateau Mont-Royal, close to the mountain, 40 units, went for $212,000 per door. Really interesting transaction. 1965 asset on Brébeuf, well located, cap rate of 4.7, a transaction almost $8.5 million. So we're talking about transactions of very good prices here taking place, massively taking place across my board here, and I just asked my analysts here to give me the 10 top transactions to the province of Quebec. That's not counting all of the other transactions that took place, and I could tell you right now that the quantity of accepted promises of purchases that we have here at PMML is extreme right now. A transaction that my team took place on Kent, in Côte-des-Neiges. Côte-des-Neiges, an area where there's close to universities, close to the mountain, a lot of immigrants in those areas, but a critical mass of tenants, which permits you to increase your rents across time. So you have all kinds of buildings with all kinds of assets, type of tenants in those areas, with all kinds of capacity to pay rent. So here we have a transaction that went for $162,500 per door, very good price and units of good size, close to a 4 cap. Here's a 3.98 cap. Transaction that took place close to $7,150,000. Let's go to South Shore, Montreal, Châteauguay. In Châteauguay, 1974 construction, 39 units, went for $141,000 per door. That's pretty standard for the market. 3.73 cap, but with an expense ratio of 49%. So here, this is a perfect product for the MLI program, energy efficiency. Of course, a lot of these buildings were sold through the energy efficiency program. It's very popular in the market right now. Do consider when you're working through that program, you're going to have to inject another, certain sum price per door to do your renovations to upgrade your building. It could be $10,000, it could be $15,000 on top of this sales price. So I hope this information was useful to you. Basically, what you have to remember here is the market is maintaining its prices and even increasing. Cap rates are remaining aggressive. All of that sustained by the fact that we were able to increase our rents at a good ratio this year in the province of Quebec and in the past year also, so that higher rents being increased permit to have higher financing. The MLI program is really sustaining the market right now, and a lot of people are pulling out money and refinancing assets through the MLI, but purchasing through MLI with low cash downs, and that has the impact of increasing and maintaining prices on the market. PMML.ca is our website. You can call me anytime if you have questions on the market, and I'll see you next month. And I hope that you have a great success in all of your real estate adventures. Take care.